Star Wars Battlefront II reveal. Let's talk. You've got myself Apps and Adkins here to talk about some new information and a brand new trailer promoting the new Battlefront game that will be coming out on November the 17th this year. We expected this to be happening, didn't we? We knew Battlefront was delivering in 2017. I don't think it came as any great surprise to you, did it?
No, was it? It was last year, wasn't it? Yeah, the first one. Was it November?
Oh, it's 2015.
Was it?
Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
couple of years ago. Last year, they EA chucked out
That's right.
Battlefield One.
Oh, of course they did. Of course they did. So it's been long enough then. Like, it's
Couple of
probably
years.
because I've been playing the season pass that it don't feel too long ago. But I started.
Yeah, that's the thing about that season pass. It ran for quite a while. It ran over 12 months. So
Mm.
typically it's normally done and dusted by then, but that was out. And whilst we're on the subject of Battlefield 1, before we start talking about what we've seen and what we think we know about Battlefront 2, I'm going to keep saying Battlefield by accident, so excuse that if that
That
happens. But
will happen.
yeah, what was your thoughts on this revival of Battlefront? Because I know you bought it, you had the season pass, and it was obviously multiplayer only. But I think you said you put about 18 hours or so into it.
Yeah, yeah, I really liked it. It's not my type of game.
Right,
I
Star
am a
Wars, mate.
Well, that's it, yeah. What I did buy it after watching Rogue One. Well, no, I didn't. No, hold on. I bought the main base game after watching Episode 7,
Right,
and then I bought the season pass after watching Rogue One.
right.
So they've absolutely got me there, exactly how they wanted. Their
Yeah,
advertisement scheme. They've gone, that's how we get everyone, we'll get them. So
yeah,
yeah, I loved it, but it really, you do these type of games, you do need a squadron. Unless you're a real commit and you've got nothing else on your plate,
yeah,
and you're happy to bob along playing this game, you're only going to commit like I've done about 18 hours, which is nothing really.
yeah,
But what I've played of it's enjoyable, and I want to go back to it before this, get the little squadrons back up.
yeah,
It is fantastic. It is. People do call it a reskin of Battlefield.
yeah.
Um,
Is that fair? I'm not sure that's overly fair.
it's not overly fair.
All it shares is that you can change the perspective to first person,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
and it's a
it's
multiplayer shooter.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, the the air combat. Obviously,
Yeah,
they started there. Now, obviously, it's in Battlefield 1.
yeah,
They've obviously taken a bit from that, but yeah, the ground combat. That's very yeah. I suppose it can be classed as a copy, a reskin, but it's its sound is what makes the game. I think with this, it's so authentic. You really do feel like you're in the world.
yeah,
Your little blaster, pew
yeah,
pew.
yeah. I mean, that's the reason to get it, isn't it? If you're a fan of
Yeah.
that, then it's gonna tickle those boxes. I mean, what would you say the main issues of the first one were that probably
Numero
stopped
one.
you getting more hours out of it?
Numero one, which is everyone's seemed to be concerned, unless it's their type of game,
Mm,
is no campaign.
yeah,
That was the thing. They tried to implement like a single player mode. I think they called it missions, where you could do
yeah,
sort of like a wave based, like a horde mode sort of thing.
sure.
They had that, and you could do it with co-op and stuff, but it didn't have the gonads. I was gonna say the gonads then. It didn't have the gonads to keep you in. It was a multiplayer game,
Yeah.
um, and you need to be into that sort of thing. I'm surprised that Logan and Hall didn't smash the shit out of this a lot more than they did.
Yeah, well, I think at that time that Logan bought it,
Mm,
Piper bought it, Biff bought it,
yep.
and Hall probably would have bought it. I don't know how big a Star Wars fan he is. I assume he's a pretty decent one. But at the
Yeah.
time, I think he only had an Xbox One, so he was on that.
Ah, right.
He was stranded on that island, and like you
Oh,
said, you need your squadron,
you really do.
and you're not gonna get it when
Nah,
most other people had it on the PS4 at the time.
nah.
You mentioned that the one of the main issues of Battlefront, revival,
Yeah.
was that it didn't have a campaign,
Yeah.
and it looks like in Battlefront 2 they are going to address that because the
Boom.
trailer was mainly focused around a campaign that they're installing, single player, narrative driven campaign for players to play through. So this Battlefront 2 is an
Yeah.
effort by 3 studios. So you've got DICE that are handling the multiplayer part, Criterion who are handling the vehicle side of things, and then Motif who are doing the narrative and the campaign. So it'll be 3 studios all putting into this melting pot, and the result of that is a dedicated single player campaign. We don't know how long it is. We don't
No.
know what
No.
it'll be like. This is all speculation, but the basic premise is, and I'll read it directly from the website: forge a new pass as Aiden Versailles, commander of Inferno Squad, an Imperial Special Forces unit equally lethal on the ground and in space. Encounter many Star Wars' greatest characters in a story of revenge, betrayal, and redemption that spans 30 years. So that says to me they're going to try and include most of the eras
Yeah.
from the Star Wars universe. But I guess
Yeah.
the real that's a great thing in itself, and we'll talk about that more when it comes to the multiplayer side of things.
Yeah.
But the fact that we're getting a campaign is good, and it's also
Yeah.
interesting they've gone to put you on the Empire side.
Yeah. Yeah. That's interesting. Gone for the what's it called as well? The old women's rights as a female lead.
Yeah, getting more and more common.
um.
Not going to buy it now, are you?
Nah, nah, only men only, I'm afraid. Fucking, we've had too much this year. Tomb Raider, fucking Horizon.
Aloy, what's going on?
Absolute sick of it. Nah, it's good. So yeah, no, I am interested about this. I did think what they were going to do is a sort of Battlefield 1, where they've got you have like segments, didn't you? Which
Yeah,
got all
yeah,
these different stories, and I thought they might go through like each segment in each, I suppose each trilogy. So you
yeah,
start off with your old trilogy, then your prequels, and then obviously the new ones.
yeah.
Don't know if they might do that, but from that, it doesn't sound like that, does it? It sounds like it's going
No.
to be one set story, like you say, spanning across 30 years. So they could, I suppose, still do it.
Yeah, I thought they was going to do that. I thought they was going to have
Yeah.
separate, dedicated stories in set time zones, similar to what they do in Battlefield One, where it's kind of like a couple of hours and it wraps up a mini story. I thought that'd be a very easy way of doing it, but no, you're playing this one character. I don't know if you'll switch to other. There's a rumor going around that you might play as Luke Skywalker through one mission, but I don't know how that would tie in
Right.
to this particular campaign. But it sounds like they're gonna, it's going to be a long spanning campaign that appears to the main kind of trigger part of this is when the second Death Star's blown up, as we saw in the trailer. So it's going to be an interesting perspective. Do you think in hindsight, look at this, would you have preferred to be on perhaps the Rebel side, or do you quite like the idea of being an Imperial Special Forces unit?
No, I really like the Star Wars Force Unleashed games. Did you play them?
Yeah, no, I actually didn't, but I know a fair
Ah.
amount about them. I know Biff did.
Yeah,
I
they were
enjoyed
wicked.
them.
And you played as a baddie on that side. You was a little Sith
Yeah.
man. Sith man. So yeah, you had that. That was quite a cool perspective actually.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I do like that because then like, I think you've mentioned it before. Sometimes in games when you're given like the power, you try and play to the characters. You think he wouldn't be going around killing all these people. He's a
Yeah.
good guy. So with this, you can just go absolute batshit crazy and still have your conscience with you, going, "Yep, this is what it do." She's on the rebel side.
She's absolutely going to go for that. Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting stance. I mean, I thought they would play it a bit safer, but no, they've gone for putting people on the Imperial side. So it'd be interesting to see how that pans out. Multiplayer is obviously going to be one of the main functions of this, and
Yeah.
they've mentioned that it's going to have the prequels, the original trilogy, and the new era that all kind of meet in a expanded multiplayer experience. So you can play as iconic heroes that you'll see from the likes of Yoda. I think Kylo Ren we see in the trailer,
Yep.
and
The name
Rey as well.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see her. So it looks like they're going to try and include. Oh, and Darth Maul, obviously.
Oh yeah,
from
yeah.
episode
That
one.
was a big ask. A lot of people were asking for him in the Battlefront in the first one. I know a lot of
Yeah,
people was asking. Quite a popular character.
yeah. Did you know his voice is played by a chap that's out of Shaun the Dead?
Oh, Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah, the guy that
Chris Frost.
that Sean's living with. that gets out of the shower and he's been turned
Oh,
into
that guy, the geezer that's texting Partridge.
That's it. He's
Oh,
texting
is it
Partridge. Yeah, that's him.
really?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
mate, didn't know that.
Well, that's what Biff said. So if anyone knows that's incorrect and wants to correct it, let us know. But Biff has said that, so we'll know if that's right or wrong quite shortly. Because I know people won't accept that as being bollocks. But yeah,
That's quite fun.
was this something that you was hoping for at the first one, having access to all of the eras, I guess, and being able to play,
Yeah,
because it was quite restrictive in Battlefront One.
yeah, that's it. Yeah, yeah, I suppose it was really. Yeah, as much as you try to forget the prequel era,
Yeah,
there were a few characters that you did think would be quite cool,
yeah, like
and that
Darth
it
Maul.
would span over.
Yeah,
Yeah, so yeah, it would be nice of that, but I suppose they did need to leave it open for future games, and especially when they started including the Rogue One stuff
hmm.
in their DLC
Yes,
season pass.
yes.
There's a segue there.
Yes, no, I mean, if you speak about the season passes, they are ditching it for Battlefront 2.
So I thought I heard a little while ago that all week EA had announced that they were going to do it on all their games, or have I just made that up in my head? I can't remember.
Well, there's one for Battlefront 1, there's a premium pass for that. Titanfall doesn't have one.
Titanfall.
Battlefront 2 doesn't have one. Mass Effect doesn't have one. You know, it could
There
be.
you go.
It
That's
could be.
interesting.
So yeah, I mean, I think it's good news. Well, it depends. It's good news if it's not replaced by something else that costs money. I don't know what it
Yeah.
could be, but in microtransactions, whatever.
Yeah.
But on the face of it, when you hear no season pass, that the content's going to come, then that's good. Not only because people don't want to be financially penalised for having all of the content, but it stops their audience from being segregated, i.e., the likes of you that have gone out and bought the season pass, and the people that haven't. There's a gap there. If you can't play directly with them on some of the newer stuff because people haven't bought it. So
No,
by not having that, it keeps everyone as one, so you can play amongst each other, throughout the whole lifespan of this title. My only concern is, and I know that you mentioned the DLC earlier from Battlefront 1,
yeah.
sounds like it's pretty good from what
Yeah.
I've been. And Biff said he really enjoyed the particularly the later parts of it.
Yeah.
I'm worried that it's a stupid worry because you don't have to pay for it now. Are they gonna have as good stuff coming through?
Yeah, I was interested in that. Yeah, the DLC definitely does get better. They did implement the same system. Where on one of the game modes you had like sections.
Yeah.
Like something would occur and then you'd move on, and I think it was the Walkers things.
Yeah.
That Walker, I forget what the mode's called now. Anyway,
Yeah.
you start off one thing and the Walkers are coming. It goes on to something else, but you're still in that same map.
Right.
On the DLC, it was really cool, especially it was the Death Star
Sure.
one. So you'd start off in the air, in your little A-wing or X-wing or whatever, flying around shooting. Then you'd actually go into the Death Star, so you'd be on another map, and then you go back out again. So it was actually pretty. That was awesome. So I think if they implement that into the new stuff.
Yeah, I've heard about the DLC and I've been like, I wish I've played that and given it a go.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping they include it into this. It comes as part of the day one package. They've got a mode where you can, we got to try and take down the Death Star.
Yeah.
I don't mind them recycling that idea and putting it in because I didn't play it first time around, but maybe they will concentrate on newer things. It's going to introduce fixed classes as well that you can upgrade and customize. What do you think about having a fixed class? I know there was fixed loadouts before, but this sounds more like a Battlefield type thing that we've seen in recent years anyway.
Yeah, it sounds like it works cool. Like it definitely implements that you have to work with a team rather than just playing every man for himself or whatever. It's quite cool. They didn't do that with the first game, did they? They just had had sort of specific loadouts that you could sort of tailor a little bit, and you got different traits you could use.
Yeah.
But you didn't unlock them until later on in the game, so you couldn't do it straight from the get-go. So it'd be interesting to see this goes with, like how it implements into the game. Does it change it up? Does it make it more of a class multiplayer game?
Yeah.
It could I don't know. It could sort of segregate the fan base a little bit. I don't know how um like lasting it'll be. Like
Mm.
how much of an impact. I'm thinking it's going to completely change the game.
Yeah, I don't think it will. I mean, it's
No?
in no, it's in Battlefield, and like you wouldn't notice really. Like it just gives people an option to play as a sniper with slightly different perks, and
Right.
I'll play as a support character, and I'll chuck out ammo and whatnot, and you
Right.
get access to different weapons slightly.
Mm.
I think it just gives people a little bit more. Well, I say it gives them more flexibility. In fact, it probably doesn't because you
Mm.
once you pick your class, you've got certain perks that you work towards. But
I
um,
wonder what the classes will be. Do you think it'll
yeah, I don't
be
know. Yeah, we don't know about that yet. It's
no?
tough to guess really. I imagine you have things like a scout and an assault, and
Mm.
I don't know. But you can tailor them to a certain extent. You can also tailor the heroes, so the likes of a Darth Maul, that they will also improve. Evidently, the more you play with them, or the more experience you get. So um,
Mm.
it's going to be more down that route, it seems, of progressing your multiplayer.
Okay.
They keep mentioning it as a career,
Right.
so it seems a little bit more progression based than perhaps what we used to before.
Right.
So I don't know if
Okay.
that's going to be a good thing or a bad thing in the long run, but that will be something to keep an eye on for sure.
Yeah.
A few questions.
Yep.
Is the split studio setup they've got a concern for you, i.e., three different studios working on different parts of the game, bringing it together? Any
Yeah.
concerns on that front?
Yeah, a little bit because of what happened with did Uncharted 4, did they have two teams, one working on the multiplayer, one on
Yeah,
um the campaign, and
yeah,
then you got this sort of one part was flawless, the other was okay. They obviously
mm,
had to bring the not frame, yeah, bring the frame rate up and the
mm,
resolution. Not that that will play into the effect, but um I'm trying to think, does it really affect me that much? Uh, I know the Call of Duty games, they get a lot of stick for all three studios,
yeah,
having three different studios doing each game, don't they?
yeah,
It is a concern, yeah, because it's better. I think it's better as a making a game to all be from one developer, so they're all linked.
yeah.
Is there going to be a communication error?
Yeah, I mean the difference of the Naughty Dog ones, I guess, is although they were a separate team, they were still quite close to
Mm,
Naughty Dog in the sense that the communication part, whereas Dice, Criterion, and Motive are very separate outfits. They all come under the A banner, but you do wonder whether there will be some communication errors or problems there. The only thing I would say on the campaign front, Dice in particular,
mm.
not been impressed with any of their stuff they've done on
No,
previous Battlefields or Battlefield Hardline. So
yeah,
I get the feeling that someone's looked at that and gone, probably take that away from them because they're good at the multiplayer stuff's good.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Wasn't Mirror's Edge as well? That Catalyst, that was Dice, wasn't it? And I think the
yeah,
first one as well. So
yeah,
again, another trait.
yeah,
But
yeah. Well,
length's a big one for me as well. I'm all
right,
about length.
yeah.
So if this comes out at a 6 hour, I don't know if like it'd be
It's got
great.
30 years. It's got to be longer than that.
That's
30
what I'm
hours,
thinking.
1 hour a year.
That's it, yeah. That's what I'm thinking. Well, Battlefield 1 average is 6 hours apparently.
Yeah. Well,
So,
what I would say to that is coming back to that point about Dice at all the campaign being taken over by Motive. Is I get the feeling that
mm,
Dice will concentrate on the multiplayer. They would work on it, and then they'd put a small team aside to do the campaign with it. In this case,
mm,
Motive are going to be solely working on the campaign. That's their goal.
that's
They've got
true.
nothing else to
Yeah.
work on. They can make it as big or as long as not as long as they want. They've got a
No,
deadline to meet, but it should give them a lot
yeah.
more resource freedom to do it.
That's very true. Yeah, I didn't think of that perspective. So yeah, in that case, hopefully it should be a longer one. That's good. Yeah, I like the idea. Now you've sold me.
And
You've charmed me.
you've charmed me with Motive. They're going to let us all down. Um,
Mickey.
yeah. Is the 2 year cycle long enough for to see another one? Like, this looks like it's going to be a pattern now.
Yeah, I can see this. Yeah, every couple of years, I'm not a fan of the Call of Duty franchise where you're getting one every single year. I didn't
Hmm.
realise that thing was 2015.
Yeah.
So that's. That's pretty impressive. So yeah, every 2 years, I think that's long enough. Especially if they're not, they've said they're not doing a season pass.
Yeah, yeah,
So that again, like I was saying earlier, it didn't feel like it was that long because I've had this second wave of a
sure.
season pass. So that it'll definitely feel like it's been long enough for me. And
Yeah,
again, they've got the next film will be out, won't it, in 2018?
yeah.
So I suppose the
Be
next
this
one
year.
will be
It'd be Christmas, wouldn't it?
yeah Christmas this year, and then we've got one
2019.
29, so they could coincide it with that and
I
get
probably
them
will.
hype levels up and get their sales again, which they've got them out of me.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
What?
2 years is good enough for me. I don't mind. I like that.
That's acceptable. What are your hype levels then, based on what you've seen, heard, and our discussion today? You hype up or hype down,
I'm
considering where
I'm
you were
definitely
before?
hype up. Yeah, yeah. Having that perspective now of thinking about it and having a second team working solely on the campaign. So hype. So I think I'm with you around a sort of eight, maybe nine after I've watched one of the films. But what I've seen of it, it does look wicked. It does look like there should be a gameplay. I'm sure there'll be gameplay footage at E3 next month or in 2 months.
Yeah,
So we'll see that. See if it's in because the game looked incredible, the first one anyway. So I'm sure this is good. It's just it does solely the longevity of the game really does hold down to whether you guys get it.
yeah. Well,
Squad. It'll be a lot better this time because you'll have that campaign.
yeah, and
But
I mean, I think what happened before, I played the beta of Battlefront, and then I played quite a lot of it. So I remember it being like a week long. It was something ridiculous. I remember I must have put about 8 hours into that.
cool, and as many as I've played on a full
Oh,
game.
exactly. And then I felt like I was done with it. I was like, oh, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy to like step away from it and see what happens. And then I never really got picked up. Looking in the Dimp group, everyone seems to be pretty hyped
Yeah.
up about this because they seems like the main criticisms we had of it was it had no campaign before. It was only covering a certain era of it. There wasn't any crossover there, and the season pass was another £45 on top of the game.
Yeah.
And all of those three have gone away. They've now they've got a campaign. There is no season pass, and you can play as people and be on maps and in situations across all of the Star Wars eras. So there's surely something there for everyone.
Yeah, I was
Um,
thinking that with the first game, unless you had a group of mates playing it wasn't really a game for a single player gamer. With this one, if you lot wasn't getting that, I still think there would be that sort of sniffing.
Yeah.
It's worth getting just because it's got that campaign
attached to it.
Mm.
Well, hopefully we'll see more at E3, see some in-game stuff and find out to clarify a lot of these details. But I think we're done with Battlefront 2 for now. Go on.
Breaking news.
Yep.
Mr. Biff
Yep.
is correct.
So Tex is Darth Maul.
Tex, I can't go absolute make a meal of his name. Peter Serafinowicz.
Yeah, he's in Guardians of the Galaxy as well. So.
That's right, yeah, he did, didn't he? He is the voice of Darth Maul.
Well, there you go. What better note to end it on? Biff, you are correct. Well done. Everyone else, thanks for your time. And ta-da.
Star Wars Battlefront II, come on!